Beagles are smart, just not in the way you want them to be smart right now. Look, your dog can problem solve. Watch them figure out how to pop open a trash can or break into a bin you swore was beagle-proof. That's intelligence. The trouble is, none of it's pointed at pleasing you. Beagles were bred to work a scent trail in a pack, miles from the handler, making their own calls. The nose finds a rabbit, and the dog just goes. The handler's job is to keep up. So when you're standing in your kitchen with a treat in your hand asking him to care what you want, yeah, they heard you. They considered it. They're not interested. This isn't a lab. A lab will work itself into a froth trying to figure out what you want. Your beagle won't.
And honestly, I wish more first-time beagle owners got told this before they brought the dog home. Trainability with this breed means patience and repetition. It does not mean eager to please. Different animal entirely. People call it stubborn. I'd call it independent. Your dog was built to make his own calls, and that programming doesn't just switch off because you've got a cookie in your hand. And then there's the nose. Roughly 220 million scent receptors. Your dog is basically a nose with legs attached. Every step of potty training, that nose is going to help you and work against you at the same time. We'll come back to that, promise. There's a guideline you'll see everywhere, the AKC's month-per-hour rule. 1 month of age, 1 hour of holding it. 2 months, 2 hours, so on. It's a decent starting point. That's it, a starting point. Rough rule of thumb. I wouldn't set a stopwatch by it. A 3-month-old beagle can probably make it around 3 hours between bathroom trips. 4 months, around 4. But those are ceilings, not targets. Plan for less. Always plan for less. The stuff that shifts holding ability is everything. Age, obviously, but also whether they just woke up. Whether they've been running around like a maniac, when they last ate, how much water they just put away. And here's where the beagle thing kicks in. Your dog is greedy. I mean really greedy. With food, with water, all of it. Beagles don't have an off switch around the bowl. So if you're loose with feeding times and you leave water down all day, you have no idea what's going in, which means you have no idea what's coming out or when. Tight feeding times, measured water, not a constantly full bowl, especially in the early months. This matters more with a beagle than with a dog that self-regulates. And this is the part owners get wrong all the time. They look at the chart, see 4 hours, and figure, great, I can leave him for 4 hours. Don't do that. The month-per-hour number is what they can hold, not what they should be asked to hold. Pushing a young beagle to test that limit gets you UTIs. It also breaks their trust in you. Be proactive. Take him out before he needs to go. One more thing. Your beagle's small to medium, not a toy, so the bladder isn't tiny like a Chihuahua's, and that month-per-hour math actually tracks pretty well. Just don't lean on it when they're young and chugging water like it's their job. Your beagle is going to have accidents. A lot of them. That's not you failing. That's not him failing either. This is just the stage you're in. Sorry, no clever workaround. Here's something I wish someone had told me about 100 beagles ago. Puppies don't pee on your rug to get back at you. They genuinely don't. Spite isn't a dog motivation. When a puppy has an accident, it's almost always something simple. They don't fully get yet where they're supposed to go, or the bladder's still developing and just can't hold the line yet. And every once in a while, something's medically off. UTI, infection, that kind of thing. If accidents suddenly spike out of nowhere with a dog who was getting it right, go to the vet. Don't train through a medical problem. Now, beagles, your dog has a thing other breeds don't have to deal with at this scale. That nose. We talked about it. This is where it bites you. If your Beagle peed on the corner of the rug yesterday and you wiped it up with paper towels and Lysol, that spot still smells like a bathroom. To him, you can't smell it. He can smell it from 3 rooms away, and his entire brain is wired to follow that signal. So guess where the next accident is going to happen? This is why enzymatic cleaner isn't optional with this breed. Not optional. Regular cleaner just masks the smell. Enzymatic cleaner actually breaks down the proteins in the pee that the dog is locking onto. Buy it. Use it. Soak the spot. Don't just dab. Second nose problem, and this one drives owners insane. You take your Beagle out to the yard, he gets a nose full of squirrel or grass or whatever was there before, and he turns into a different animal. 20 minutes of sniffing, no pee. You bring him in, he pees on the floor. Right? You've lived this. One more piece. Beagles are pack dogs, built for company. Leave one alone too long and the anxiety can trigger accidents on its own. That's a stress response, has nothing to do with him acting out. So mentally prepare. Accidents are part of the deal early on. Patience isn't optional. Sorry. Before your Beagle puppy walks through the door, your house has already lost. You just don't know it yet. So let's get ahead of it. Food, bowls, crate, ID tag, fine, the basics. But put a sturdy harness and a real leash on your shopping list, because the second this dog locks onto a smell, you're getting dragged down the sidewalk. Grab scent-based puzzle toys and a slow feeder bowl too. Beagles inhale food. The bowl slows the gulping, and the puzzle toys give that nose something legal to do. Now puppy-proof. Cord secured, toxic plants gone, chemicals locked up, standard stuff. But here's where Beagle owners get bit. Lock your food away. All of it. Trash with a real lid, counters clear, pantry door that latches. I'm not exaggerating. Your Beagle will turn into a tiny, 4-legged food thief, and they're weirdly good at it. Fencing matters, like really matters. They dig under it, they squeeze through it, and once they're on a trail, calling them back is, well, good luck. Bury the bottom, walk the perimeter, twice. Set up a gated puppy zone indoors. Pick the outdoor potty spot now, and sketch out the first week. Feeding, potty breaks, play, sleep. Then line up early socialization and a puppy class. That independent streak shapes way easier when they're tiny. Pick one word. One. Whatever it is. Potty, go, business, I don't care. But pick it and stop changing it. Say it calm, say it warm, and the second they finish, treat. Not good boy and a pat. A treat, a real one. Cheese, spoiled chicken, whatever they'd sell their soul for. Because your Beagle's nose is already a mile down the yard, and the only thing pulling them back into the moment is their stomach. That's your in. And listen, everybody in the house uses the exact same word. Not potty, pee-pee, and do your thing. One word. This is the section that matters most, so stay with me. Pick the potty spot before the puppy gets home, not the day after, before. Pick it for the boring stuff first. Easy to get to, close enough you'll actually use it at 3 a.m. A little private so they're not distracted, and usable when it's raining or snowing or whatever your weather throws at you. Now here's where Beagle owners have an unfair advantage, and most of them waste it. Your dog's whole world runs through their nose. Every other breed I work with, I'm fighting against distraction. With your Beagle, I'm using it. A consistent smelling potty spot starts working on its own after a couple weeks. The smell tells them what to do before you even open your mouth. The spot becomes the cue, so help it along.
First few days, take a paper towel with a tiny bit of their urine on it and leave it at the spot. Sounds weird? Works anyway.
You're claiming the spot by smell. Meanwhile, you clean every accident inside with an enzyme cleaner like your sanity depends on it. Because it kind of does. The only place on Earth that smells like beagle pee should be that one outdoor spot. That's the whole game. Pick a surface that holds smell. Mulch, pea gravel, dirt, a patch of grass, fine. Concrete? Pretty much useless for this. It rinses clean every time it rains and the scent never builds. You want a surface that remembers.
And don't move the spot once you've picked it. I see this constantly. Owner decides the spot's inconvenient, picks a new corner of the yard, and the dog's scent map just gets erased. Now you're starting over from week 1. Don't do it. One last thing. Secure that spot. Fence around it, long line on the dog, whatever you have to do. Because a beagle who's halfway through peeing and catches a rabbit trail on the breeze, gone. Midstream doesn't matter. The nose wins. Every time. Socialization isn't optional with this breed. People, dogs, other animals, weird floors, loud noises, kids on scooters. Get your puppy meeting all of it in the first few months. That window closes fast and it doesn't reopen. And because you've got a nose dog, take them places that smell like things. Trails, parks, the back end of the pet store. Scent-rich environments do double duty as real enrichment for them. Their brain runs on smell. Feed it. Skip the dog park until vaccines are done. Honestly, skip it for longer than that. And listen, beagle recall is bad. I'm not exaggerating. Once that nose locks on, your voice basically stops existing. So a long line goes on early and pretty much stays on forever. Off-leash freedom in open spaces? Not for this breed. I don't care how good your training is. Get them used to loud household sounds too, because beagles bay loud. Start desensitizing early or your neighbors will hate you. And this one matters. Leave them alone for short stretches from day 1. Pack dog, prone to separation anxiety. Build the alone muscle while it's small. Treats. With a beagle, that's your entire toolkit. And positive reinforcement happens to be the only approach the people who actually study this stuff still back. AVSAB, AKC, Humane Society, all in the same camp. No corrections, no scolding, no be the alpha stuff. You pay for the behavior you want, and you ignore the rest. And paying is the right word. Think of treats as a paycheck. Your beagle did the job, went outside, did the business in the spot you picked, so you pay them. You wouldn't show up to work for free. Neither will they. Honestly, with a beagle, that paycheck better be good. Cheese, real chicken, bits of hot dog, something that can compete with whatever they're smelling on the wind. Pair it with praise, the kind where your voice actually changes, not good boy through gritted teeth at 6 a.m. They clock the difference. This is where your dog shines, by the way. The food drive that racks your dinner table, same drive that makes them a dream to train if you use it. So use it heavy. Just watch the portions. Beagles get fat, and they get fat fast. Pea-sized treats, or count them against meals. Don't wing this part. And then punishment. When people tell me their beagle is stubborn, what's usually happening is the scent in the grass just outbid the treat in their hand. Pure economics. You punish for that, you wreck the one lever you've actually got, the food trust. Don't burn that down. You're gonna need it. Bell training. I see people skip this with beagles because they assume the dog will just abuse the system. And I get it, but don't skip it. Honestly, beagles are some of the best candidates for bells. That same food brain that makes them ring obsessed in the wrong way is what makes them learn it the right way fast. They lock on to cause and effect quick when food's on the table. So what is it? You teach the dog to touch a bell, nose bump, paw, whatever, every time before you take them out to potty. That sound becomes their way of telling you, hey, I need to go, which matters because beagles aren't great at the subtle signals. They're not sitting by the doors staring at you meaningfully. They're sniffing the rug. The bell takes the guesswork off your plate. For gear, 2 options. Sleigh bells, the jingly Christmas kind on a sturdy ribbon hung from the door handle, or a flat push-button floor bell, the kind that buzzes, for dogs that rather paw than nose. Either works. Pick whichever feels less annoying to live with, because you'll be hearing it. Hang it at nose to shoulder height, on the one door you actually use for potty trips. Not the front door, not the side door, the potty door. One door, one bell, one job. Teaching it, you ring the bell yourself, every single time. Before you open the door, you take their nose or paw and bump it against the bell. Say your cue, outside, potty, whatever you pick, and the second they make contact, treat. A beagle will repeat anything that pays. Within a week or 2, they're ringing on their own. Now, the warning. Beagles are clever and food-driven, which is a, let's just say, spicy combination.
A lot of them figure out the bell summons the human, and the human sometimes brings snacks. So they'll ring it because they're bored, they'll ring it because they want a treat, they'll ring it because you laughed last time and they're hoping for an encore.
Here's the rule. Bell rings, you go straight outside. No play, no kitchen detour first. Bell means potty, potty only. Hold that line and the system works. The mistakes. I'm splitting these general stuff first, then beagle specific, because with this breed, the second pile's bigger. General. Rubbing their nose in an accident after the fact, they don't connect it. You're just being weird at them. Running a sloppy schedule, where Tuesday looks nothing like Wednesday. Giving them run of the house too soon. Couch privileges before they've earned crate clean privileges. And missing the pre-potty signals, the circling, the sudden quiet, the drift toward a corner. Now, the beagle stuff, most of what I see, letting them sniff and wander on the potty break. I know you want them to do their business, so you let them roam. With a beagle, the nose hits a scent trail and they're gone. 20 minutes of investigating, 0 peeing, and they go the second they're back on the carpet. Take them to one spot, stand there. Boring is the point. Off-leash potty trips, even in a fenced yard. Same problem. The nose is in charge, not you. Leash every potty trip to the designated spot until they're rock solid. Harsh corrections. A beagle you yell at doesn't learn don't pee inside. They learn don't pee where the human can see. So they go behind the couch, in the guest room, under the bed. You haven't trained them. You've just taught them to sneak. Keep it positive. Free feeding. Bowl down all day, food whenever. With a beagle especially, who'd graze forever if you let them, you lose any sense of when they need to go. Scheduled meals, twice a day, picked up after 15 minutes. Boring, but it works. And regular cleaner on accidents. That nose can find a spot you scrubbed 3 times. We'll get to enzymatic stuff in a bit. For now, just know ordinary cleaner hides it from you, not them.
Stop the food about 2 hours before lights out, maybe 90 minutes if your puppy eats early. Pull the water bowl up shortly before bed too. Yeah, I know, it feels mean, it's not. Less in, less out at 3 in the morning. Crate at night. Beagles actually take to crates pretty well. They're den dogs by wiring. They like a small enclosed space that smells like them. But, big but. Your beagle is also a pack hound who is bred to live and hunt with other dogs. And if you stick the crate in the laundry room at the far end of the house, you're going to hear about it, loudly. They don't whine, they bay.
So the crate goes in your bedroom or right outside the door, at least for the first few weeks. They need to know the pack is still there. Now, the reality, a 2-month-old puppy can't hold it all night. They just can't. The bladder isn't there yet. Plan on 1 or maybe 2 potty breaks. Set an alarm, take them out before they cry. And when you do, this is where most people blow it. It's all business. No lights blazing, no baby talk, don't even really speak. Out to the spot, wait, treat quietly, back in the crate. If waking up at 3 a.m. turns into playtime, congratulations, you've just trained a nocturnal beagle. Look, you don't need an AKC title to potty train your dog, but you do need a beagle who can focus on you for more than 4 seconds. And AKC programs are honestly some of the best structure I've found for getting there, especially with this breed, because focus is the whole game. Start with Star Puppy. It's the entry-level thing for puppies under a year. Basic socialization, basic manners, a few simple cues, nothing crazy. But it gets you and the puppy showing up, working together on a schedule. For a beagle that's already practicing how to tune you out because something smells interesting, that early scaffolding matters more than people realize. After that, Canine Good Citizen, CGC. It's a 10-skill test. Sitting politely, walking through a crowd, accepting a stranger, that kind of thing. Everyday manners. The test gets administered and signed off by an AKC-approved CGC evaluator, so it's not just you grading your own dog, which, useful. Now for the beagle-specific stuff. This is where I get a little excited. Scent work and tracking. AKC runs both. Your dog was bred for nearly 500 years to do exactly this. Put a nose down, find a thing, tell you about it. When you don't give them that job, they invent one, usually involving your couch cushions or the trash can. Give the nose a sanctioned outlet and watch the rest of the dog calm down. The potty training gets easier because the dog gets easier. And if you want more, beagles are eligible for field trials. Brace and small pack are the formats you'll see most. There's also Fast Cat, the lure coursing thing, which is just pure fun. None of this directly teaches your dog where to pee, but a tired beagle with a satisfied nose is a cooperative beagle, and a cooperative beagle learns the potty thing in half the time. Yes, crate train your beagle. I know there's been pushback on crates the last few years. I've heard all of it. And for some breeds, I'll sit and hear out the argument. For a beagle, no, crate. The AKC backs it. The Humane Society backs it. Most breeders, trainers, and vets you'd actually want to listen to back it. Because dogs don't want to mess where they sleep. That's the whole instinct you're working with. A crate sized right, big enough to turn around and lie down, not big enough to set up a separate bathroom in the corner, teaches the puppy to hold it. That's the potty training piece. Use it overnight. Use it for short trips out of the house. Use it when you're home but can't be eyes on for a stretch. Folding laundry, on a call, whatever. Not as punishment, ever. The second the crate becomes the bad place, you've lost the tool. And listen, with a beagle, this matters more than usual. They're pack animals. They don't do well alone. They get clingy, they get vocal, they get separation anxiety like few other breeds. So the crate has to be the good place. Soft bed, a chew, treats appearing inside it for no reason. Build it up slowly. Bonus, and this is genuinely beagle specific, a crated beagle isn't a digging beagle or an escape artist beagle backing through the screen door. Both things they do. One more thing. If you work 9 to 5, you cannot crate your puppy all day, period. Dog walker, daycare, family member, something. A beagle stuck alone for 8 hours? That dog's gonna scream the building down. A beagle's actual job, the original one, was to put a nose on a rabbit trail and follow it for hours with 7 other beagles, none of them checking in with the human. That's the dog you brought home. Small pack scent hound, refined into the modern version in 1800s England. Bred for one thing above all else, the nose and the willingness to trust it over you.
That last part matters. When your beagle ignores you in the yard, head down, doing his own thing, while you stand there with a treat, going, "Buddy, come on," he's not blowing you off. Well, he is, but not the way you think. He was bred to make his own calls out ahead of the hunter, to commit to a scent and not break off because the guy with the gun changed his mind. What looks like stubbornness, honestly, is just the job, built in. You can't train it out, and people who try usually break the dog instead. Now, the nose, world class. Around 220 million scent receptors, against our pathetic 6 million. And that wasn't a happy accident. It was the entire point of the breed. Everything your beagle does runs through his nose first. Eating, exploring, getting in trouble, and yes, peeing. We'll get back to that. The pack thing matters too. Beagles were bred to live in groups, sleep in groups, work in groups, which means a beagle alone is a beagle in actual distress, not just bored. This is why the crate becomes a problem for some of them, why being shut in a room by himself sets off a whole symphony of. Which brings me to the voice. That bang, that howl, that "I am being murdered" noise he makes when you close the door. That's how beagles told the pack and the hunter where they were. The dog doing exactly what we paid people for centuries to make him do. So my point, train with all of this, not against it. Lean on the nose. Use the food drive, and trust me, he's got one. Build a routine so rigid he could set his watch by it. And drop the fantasy that he'll look up at you with those big eyes desperate to please. He's a hound. Different deal. You can teach a dog to sit in an afternoon. Potty training with a beagle can take 3 months, sometimes longer. And most owners don't understand why, because they think it's a command like any other command. It's not. Sit, down, stay. Those are single behaviors. You ask, the dog does the thing, you pay him. Done. Potty training is something else entirely. You're building a whole communication system with an animal who can't talk about a thing he's been doing in whatever spot felt right since he was born. There's no built-in indoor rule. He didn't sign the lease. And the biology fights you. A puppy's instinct is to go the second the urge hits. That's it. No find the right room rule built into him. He physically can't hold it for long either. The muscles and the wiring aren't there yet. Roughly an hour of hold time per month of age, and even that's optimistic. So you, the human, do almost all the heavy lifting. Vigilance, supervision, a schedule you actually stick to, and cleaning, proper enzymatic cleaning, not the spray under the sink, every single time, non-negotiable. We'll get to why in a minute. Now layer the beagle on top. That nose I just told you about, it'll find any spot you cleaned wrong and pull him right back to it. The independence means he's not going to defer to you out of love and loyalty. That's not the deal you signed up for. And outside, every smell in the yard is a competing job. He came out to pee. He forgot. There's a squirrel that walked through here in 2019, and he's reading the whole story. Tough breed for this. Doable, but tough. Dogs pee where they've peed before. Scent says this is the bathroom, dog uses the bathroom. Simple system, working as designed. Which is why the spot on your rug your beagle hit last Tuesday is to him still the bathroom, still flagged, still on the map.
Here's where most owners screw up. They clean it, they really clean it. They spray the carpet stuff, they scrub on hands and knees. They smell nothing. They walk away feeling like they solved it. They didn't. Standard household cleaners cover the smell from you. From the dog, he still gets it, loud and clear. The odor goes, sure, but the proteins and uric acid crystals stay, and those don't break down with soap and water. You need an actual enzymatic cleaner, one made for pet urine, that eats those compounds at the molecular level. Anything else is theater. I mean it. If you take one thing from this video, take that. And for your beagle specifically, this is way worse than for a regular dog. Around 220 million scent receptors, remember? He's reading that spot in HD. A trace another dog would barely register, your beagle locks onto. So if you clean wrong once, you've basically marked the spot on his internal map. Bathroom, right there. He'll go back and back and back. That's how accidents become habits. Get the enzymatic cleaner today, not tomorrow.
Your beagle's nose is the whole game. Not her personality, not her size, not how cute she looks when she tilts her head. The nose. Once you really get that, the whole problem starts making sense. Look, a beagle's sense of smell is something like 1,000 times better than yours. Every accident, every win, every confused circle around the yard, it's all running through that nose. You can work with it, or you can fight it and lose. Working with it. Pick one spot outside. 1. Same patch of grass every single time. The leftover scent from yesterday tells her, right, this is the bathroom, and she'll go faster than she would just standing around guessing. So when she does go out there, don't scrub the spot. Leave a little of her own scent. That's your billboard. Now, the bad side. Outdoors, your beagle's gonna lock onto a scent trail. Squirrel, fox, the neighbor's barbecue from yesterday, and forget she came out to pee. You bring her in, she relaxes. 3 minutes later, there's a puddle on the rug. Indoors, same nose problem in reverse. She'll find old accident spots and remark them, which is why real enzymatic cleaner matters. Not vinegar, not soap, the actual stuff. Owners call it stubbornness when she ignores them mid-sniff. Wrong call. She's just gone, tracking. So leash on, walk straight to the spot, no detours. Sniff walks are a different trip, for fun, for exercise, later. This one's got a job. Pick a cue word, use it every time, and the second she finishes, treat. Not 5 seconds later, right then. Realistic timeline, around 4 to 6 months before you can mostly trust her not to have an accident. 8 to 12 months before she's genuinely reliable, like you can leave the room and not worry. And honestly, most beagles land toward the long end. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. The eager-to-please breeds, your labs, your goldens, they're trying to figure out what you want. A beagle's trying to figure out what she wants. Different problem. She'll get there. She just takes the scenic route, through a hedge, following something. Some are quicker. I've met beagles who clicked at 4 months and never looked back, and beagles still having the odd accident at a year. That variation's the dog. Some of it's genetics, some of it's just personality. But the biggest factor in all this, bigger than the breed, bigger than the puppy you got, it's you. Same routine, same spot, same cue, same reward, every day, even when you're tired, even when it's raining, and you'd rather just not. That's the lever. That's the whole lever. Oh, and the regression around 5-6 months, when she suddenly forgets everything she learned, that's adolescence. Normal. Stay the course. Don't escalate. Don't change the system. Write it out. Start at 8 to 12 weeks. That's your window. Earlier than 8,
she's not physically or mentally ready. Her bladder's tiny, her brain's still mostly potato, and you're just gonna frustrate both of you. Later than 12, she's already started forming habits, and not the ones you wanted. That 8 to 12 window is when the puppy brain is wide open, soaking everything up. Habits set in fast. Good ones, bad ones, doesn't matter. They all stick, which is exactly why you want to be the one writing on the page first. For a beagle specifically, it's even more time-sensitive because that nose is already running at full speed. From day one in your house, she's logging smells, where things are, what belongs where. So if your designated potty spot gets imprinted in those first few weeks, you've basically preloaded the training. The scent association does half the work for you. Miss that window and you're trying to overwrite a map she's already drawn. 8 to 12 weeks. Start then. Not before, not much after. Beagles are pack hounds, wired for routine, bred for centuries to hunt in tight units with predictable rhythms. Out at dawn, work, eat, rest, repeat. That ancient programming didn't go away when she became a couch dog. She still wants the day to have shape. And when she gets it, that constantly working nose finally chills out. The restlessness drops, she settles. So routine here? Pretty much the whole strategy. Fixed times for meals, fixed times for walks, fixed times for exercise. And about that exercise, non-negotiable for this breed. She's a hunting dog. If she doesn't get a good chunk of physical activity every day, that energy goes somewhere. And somewhere is usually your couch, your shoes, or your floor. A tired beagle is a beagle who can hold it.
Now, the food thing. Beagles are food obsessed, famously so. I think they'd eat through a wall if the wall smelled interesting. Use that. Fixed meal times, twice a day for an adult, 3 or 4 for a puppy. What goes in on a schedule comes out on a schedule. Simple as that. Free feeding, where you leave a bowl down all day, that destroys it. You can't predict when she'll need to go if you don't know when she ate. Don't do it. Just don't. The critical bathroom moments. Memorize these. First thing when she wakes up, right after every meal, and I mean right after, like within 10 minutes, after every nap, after any play session, after crate time, and last thing before bed. Miss any of those windows and you're just inviting an accident. They're not suggestions. And this is the one everyone gets wrong. Total household consistency. Everyone. Same schedule, same door out, same cue word. Because a beagle, she'll find the soft spot. Dad lets her out the back, mom uses the side door. The kid forgets the cue and just opens the door. She's confused. And a confused beagle defaults to her nose, which means she's going wherever the most interesting smell takes her, including indoors. One system. Everyone runs it. No exceptions.
Both of these, gotta say this up front, are not your beagle being bad. Not defiance, not spite. These are involuntary reflexes. The dog has zero say in it. And I flagged this early because beagles already get this stubborn label for everything, and adding peeing on purpose to that list just makes things worse. Submissive urination is when a dog leaks because they're saying, please don't be mad at me. Crouching, tail tucked, maybe rolling belly up, and puddle. Your beagle? Not the breed I see this in much. They're bulldogs, confident, nose forward, pretty sure the world revolves around them. But a softer individual, a shy pup, one that's been scolded too hard, yeah, it happens, especially if you're standing over them with that frustrated look on your face. Excitement urination. This is the beagle one. These dogs greet you like you've been gone 6 years, even when you just checked the mail. Full body wiggle, tail going so fast their whole back half moves. And somewhere in all that joy, They leak. Bladder just can't keep up with how thrilled they are. Pack dogs, social to the bone. And when they love you with everything they've got, including, unfortunately, their bladder. Now, do not punish either one. I don't care how annoyed you are. Punishing a submissive pee makes the dog more anxious, which makes them pee more. Punishing an excitement pee makes your beagle wary and confused. And a wary beagle is a checked-out beagle. They stop trusting you. They get sneaky. Backfires every time. Submissive urination fix? Keep greetings boring. Don't stand over your dog. Don't make hard eye contact. Don't reach down from above. Get low. Be calm. Over weeks, build that pup's confidence. Let them come to you. Excitement urination fix. Same idea. Boring arrivals. Walk in, ignore the dog for a minute. Feels cruel, I know. It's not. Greet them outside on the potty spot if you can. Even if they leak, it's in the right place. Hold off petting until they settled. And most beagles outgrow this as the bladder catches up. You're managing it, not curing it. Time does the work. The second your beagle finishes going in the right spot, the second you reward. Not when you get back inside, not after you wipe your hands, right there, right then. Because a beagle's nose is already pulling them toward the next interesting smell. Their brain's moving on. You've got maybe a 3-second window to connect what they just did to something amazing. And if you miss it, the treat's just a random snack, means nothing. And when I say reward, I mean go big. Happy voice, excited tone, the whole production. Beagles are vocal dogs. They feed off your energy. Match theirs. Be ridiculous about it. You should feel a little silly. But the real weapon? Food. Your beagle is one of the most food-driven breeds alive, and that's the biggest edge you've got in this whole process. Keep a special treat. Something smelly, meaty, small enough to eat in one bite, and reserve it only for successful potty trips. Not for sits, not for tricks, only this. When that treat only shows up after they go in the right spot, they connect it, even a stubborn beagle. I'm gonna be straight with you. Beagles are one of the slower breeds to house train. That's not a myth, that's just true. And I know you've heard be patient, be consistent 1,000 times, but I need you to hear it differently. Patience and consistency are about you, not the dog. You're the one who has to take them out at the same times every day, even when it's pouring. You're the one who has to praise every single success, even when you're running on no sleep. And every person in your house has to do it the same way. Same door, same spot, same words. One person letting things slide undoes weeks of work. This is a marathon. Setbacks will happen. Expect them. Celebrate the small wins. A dry morning, 2 good days in a row, those add up more than you think. Your beagle has 220 million scent receptors. You've got about 6 million. So when you take that dog outside for a potty break and its nose hits the ground, you've lost him. Gone. The brain is no longer thinking about its bladder, it's tracking a squirrel that crossed the yard 3 hours ago, and that is now the only thing in the universe. And then this happens. You stand outside for 10 minutes. Dog sniffs everything. You figure, okay, must be empty. Let's go inside. 2 minutes later, puddle on the kitchen floor. You're not crazy. Your dog didn't do this out of spite. It straight up forgot why it was outside. So fix it like this. Pick a boring potty spot. I mean boring. A patch of grass with nothing interesting happening. Walk there on leash, straight line, no wandering. Give your potty cue. Wait 2-3 minutes. If nothing happens, calmly bring them back in, crate for 10 to 15 minutes. Try again. do not give free roam after a failed trip. That's exactly when accidents happen. And the big move, separate business from pleasure. Potty trip first at the dull spot, all business. Once they've gone, then you do the fun, sniffy, exploratory walk. The walk becomes the reward. You're working with the nose instead of fighting it. This isn't defiance. A beagle literally cannot prioritize its bladder over a scent trail. That's not a training failure. That's centuries of breeding doing exactly what it was designed to do. Every dog tells you when it needs to go. They're actually pretty decent communicators, most breeds. The problem with your beagle, the two most universal potty signals, sniffing and circling, look identical to your dog just being a beagle on a regular afternoon. So you've got to learn the difference between I'm doing beagle things, sniffing, and I'm about to squat right here, sniffing. And yeah, there is a difference. It's subtle, but it's there. Signs break down into physical and vocal, and sometimes both at once. Physical stuff first. Watch for sudden fixated sniffing at one specific spot on the floor. Not the wandering nose-down tracking your beagle does all day long. I'm talking about locking onto one patch like it owes them money. That intensity shift is the cue. Tight circling is another one. An abrupt pause mid-play. Your dog was tearing around the living room and just stops. That pause means something. The beginning of a squat posture, obviously, but by the time you see that, you're already too late, so don't wait for it. Scratching at or heading toward the door, good sign, especially if you've been consistent about using the same exit. And sudden restlessness, a dog that was settled on the couch and is now pacing for no obvious reason. Now, vocal signs. And this is where your beagle actually gives you an advantage most breeds don't. This is a loud dog. They bark, they whine, they give you that short half-bay thing, and a lot of beagles will do some version of that at the door when they need out. Pay attention to it. I'd actually recommend teaching a specific signal here. A doorbell works really well, because your beagle is food-motivated enough that you can train the bell-touch-treat chain in like 2 sessions. Once they connect nose touches bell, door opens, I go outside, you've got a clear signal that cuts through all the ambiguity of constant sniffing. But timing matters more than any single sign. After meals, after naps, after a play session. If your dog starts doing any of that sniffing or pacing in those windows, don't wait to be sure. Just go outside. And in those first couple of weeks, you're basically doing detective work. You're learning your specific beagle's personal tell, because the constant nose-to-ground behavior masks the generic cues that would be obvious in, say, a lab or a golden. Every beagle develops their own little pre-potty quirk. Your job is to catch it before the pattern becomes a puddle. Around month 3 or 4, your beagle is going to start having accidents again. I'm telling you this now so you don't panic when it happens. This is normal, this is expected, and I know exactly where your head's going to go. This dog is being stubborn on purpose, especially with a beagle, because they've got that independent hound streak that makes everything look like deliberate defiance. It's not, so don't treat it like it is. What triggers it? Adolescence is the big one. Somewhere between 6 and 12 months, your beagle hits the teenager phase, and whatever rules you thought were locked in, they're going to test every single one. This breed is notorious for it. That hound independence, that I heard you, I'm just choosing to ignore you energy. Potty habits are often the first thing to slip. Environmental stress is another trigger, and this is the beagle-specific angle people miss. This breed bonds hard to their pack. Changes in routine, being left alone more than they're used to, a new person in the house, even something as dumb as moving the furniture around. That kind of stuff rattles a beagle more than you'd think. Separation anxiety runs deep in this breed, and stress messes with bladder control. Too much freedom too soon. Classic one.
Dog's been clean for 2 weeks, so you open up the whole house. Now there's a room they've never been supervised in, and that room has a quiet corner that feels very bathroomish to them. Lingering odor.
And I need you to really hear this part. Your Beagle's nose can detect scent traces you couldn't find with a blacklight and a forensics team. That spot on the carpet you hit with regular cleaner still smells like a toilet to your dog, still reads as "go here." If you're not using an enzymatic cleaner, the kind that breaks down uric acid at a molecular level, you haven't actually cleaned it. You've just made it look clean to a human nose. A Beagle's nose is not a human nose. And look, before you blame the training, see your vet. UTIs, digestive issues, stuff like that. Rule it out first. Recovery is pretty straightforward. Go back to basics, tighten up supervision. Back to the crate schedule you were running in week 1. Reward every single outdoor success like it's brand new. Clean every indoor spot with enzymatic cleaner, every one of them, and give it time. A few days to a couple of weeks usually. Consistency got you there the first time, and consistency gets you back. Okay, your Beagle just squatted on your living room rug, mid-squat. You're standing there. What do? Calm, Not a scream, not a clap, just a short, firm sound, enough to break the focus. Then you walk over, guide them by the collar or scoop them up, and take them outside. Quietly, no drama. If they finish out there, you praise like they just invented something brilliant. If they don't, that's fine. You go back inside and clean it up. What you don't do, and I really mean this, is yell. Don't smack a newspaper. Don't rub their nose in it. I know someone told you that works. It doesn't. It especially doesn't with a Beagle. You know what happens when you get loud with this breed? They don't stop going inside. They just get way better at doing it where you can't find it. Behind the couch, under the bed, in that weird gap between the washing machine and the wall. Beagles are already, let's call it, selectively cooperative. You start yelling, and whatever thin thread of willingness you had, you just snapped it. And look, your dog isn't doing this to get back at you. I hear that constantly. He peed on my shoe because I left him alone too long. No, he peed on your shoe because he needed to pee and your shoe was there. Beagles don't do revenge. They don't plan. They're not sitting in the other room going, "Oh, you skipped my second treat?" Watch this. That's just not how the brain works. Every accident is information. That's it. Something got missed. Maybe you didn't catch the circling and sniffing. Maybe that outdoor trip turned into 10 minutes of your Beagle tracking a squirrel trail along the fence and 0 actual peeing. Classic, by the way. Maybe it's been 4 hours and you lost track. Figure out which one it was. Fix that gap. Move on. Your Beagle isn't fragile. I'm not saying tiptoeing around the house, but a sharp tone still backfires because it doesn't teach them to go outside. It teaches them to go somewhere you won't catch them. And a Beagle who's hiding to pee is 10 times harder to fix than a Beagle who's peeing in front of you. So keep corrections boring, neutral, almost flat. Now, the part most people skip, and with a Beagle, it might be the most important thing I say in this whole video. Enzymatic cleaner. Not Windex, not dish soap, not a really good scrub. Enzymatic cleaner. Your Beagle's nose is, I'm not exaggerating here, something like tens of thousands of times more sensitive than yours. You clean a spot with regular spray and think it's gone? Your dog walks through that room and it's like a neon sign on the floor. One accident becomes the spot. And once a Beagle decides a spot smells like a bathroom, good luck convincing that nose otherwise. I'm gonna be straight with you. I don't like pads for Beagles. The whole game with this braid is getting one idea, one single clear idea into that scent-obsessed brain. Outside is where we go, period. And pads muddy that message. You're putting a scent-marked target inside your house and then asking a dog whose entire existence revolves around following scent cues to somehow understand that this one indoor spot is fine, but the carpet 3 feet away isn't? For a lot of breeds, maybe you pull that off. For a scent hound, you're just building confusion. And confusion with a beagle doesn't look like anxiety or hesitation. It looks like your dog peeing wherever smells vaguely acceptable to that ridiculous nose, which, once a pad's been down for a week, is a lot of places. Now, are there exceptions? Yeah. If you're in a high-rise and your puppy physically cannot get outside in under 5 minutes, fine, use pads. If you've got mobility issues and getting to the door fast isn't realistic, fine. If your vet told you to keep the puppy inside until vaccinations are done because you're in a parvo-heavy area, absolutely, that's the right call. Extreme weather, too. Though honestly, most beagles handle cold and rain better than people expect. They're not made of paper. But in every one of those cases, the pad is a bridge, temporary. You put it in one consistent spot, away from food, away from the crate, and you have a plan, an actual concrete plan for phasing it out. Because if you leave pads down long enough with a beagle, that dog will decide indoors is just an option, and undoing that belief takes twice the work of teaching it right the first time.